Pentair Thermal Management are a global company offering products and services in the fields of hot water temperature maintenance, floor heating and pipe freeze protection, amongst other things. Well, here with me now is the European Product Marketing Manager, Jonathan Jones. Hello to you.
Hello, Sarah.
Now, give me an overview of the organisation and some specifics.
Okay, well, Pentair is a global water, fluid, thermal management and electrical protection company. And I think you could say it offers best-in-class products, services to a range of different industries, including the building services industry.
Now, as you say, your core product is a self-heating cable that you wrap around water pipes and then insulate. And so where would you put that on a building?
Typically it's used for freeze protection of pipes, but also for temperature maintenance on hot water systems, where you have today sort of what I would call a traditional flow and return or a secondary return hot water system. You can replace that, replace all the secondary return pipework and insulation, replace it with a heating cable so you have a direct hot water feed, and we basically compensate for the heat loss within that pipe. So it's a very efficient way of getting hot water from source in the centralised system all the way to the draw-off point. For freeze protection, obviously it's a winterization type solution where you can again put the heating cable onto the pipe, and what it does is provide just enough heat to prevent freezing within that pipework. And that's for everything from chillers on a roof plant to garages and unheated areas as well.
Now, how do you work with CIBSE members and other professionals to really provide them with what they need?
Well, we do it in a number of different ways. Obviously we have a standard sort of portfolio of marketing tools and support tools, everything from data sheets on our products to application related solutions. But we also provide CIBSE approved CPD seminars which we conduct face to face. We also try and involve a bit of technology in it, so we provide these tools as learning module systems or learning management system modules. So that means that people can actually learn online, at home, in the office. Obviously we're aware that people are very pressed for time in all walks of life and certainly within the engineering world, so it's great that we can give them the opportunity to learn on the fly, as it were.
Now, you work in a number of different sectors and also on new construction projects and on retrofit and refurb. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I think we have a range of products which lend themselves quite nicely to both refurb and new build. Obviously when it starts from new build, we can work with consulting engineers and designers right from the drawing board. Obviously with renovation we have to take into account that we've got an existing structure and there are different scales of renovation as well. So sometimes we're starting with, okay, we just need to replace what's there, and sometimes we have a bit more carte blanche to say, okay, well let's work on this application in a greater scale. So if it were be to replace a hot water system to a sort of an efficient single pipe solution to provide more space in risers for other services, for instance, we could work with a design engineer to incorporate that.
Are there any sectors which you work more in, say maybe health or hospitals or different sectors?
I think it goes in waves really. We've certainly worked in all areas, whether it be everything from healthcare with the recent PFI activities over the last 5 or 6 years. Some of our largest projects recently have been in the healthcare industry, but everything from commercial buildings to football and, let's say, games stadia. We've been able to be involved with those, and obviously some of those have been new build applications as well. But it's everything from football stadia through to commercial buildings, to hotels, to prisons, to whatever. It's every kind of building.
And how do you persuade clients that, say in a country like this where it doesn't get below freezing very often, that they need your product?
Well, that's actually one of the misnomers that we're trying to dispel. In very cold countries, it's very obvious that you need to have freeze protection type solutions, and they run 100% through the winter. In more temperate climates like we have here in the UK, having minus temperatures is more of an oddity than it is the norm. So you need to have systems which are well controlled, that switch only when they're needed and only deliver the heat that's needed at the time it's needed, and that's where people come to us, because they know that we can deliver just that.
Well, Jonathan Jones, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Well, joining me now is Robert Boland, Sales Director for the UK and Ireland. Hello to you.
Hello, Sarah.
Now, can you give an idea of the type of applications that your products lend themselves to, and perhaps a case example?
Well, the core product that we produce is a heating cable, and so we have an enormous range of applications which span everything from the domestic environment through to industrial and process applications. But in the context of the built environment, we're talking mainly about pipe freeze protection applications and increasingly so hot water temperature maintenance. In that particular application, there's a considerable number of variants depending on the building use. But a key example for us recently are the number of healthcare applications that have been executed. These are very complicated buildings, normally a mixture of new build and refurbishment. And the hot water distribution is a very sort of complex aspect of the building services design, normally speaking. With respect to the trace heating that we can apply to those systems, there is also quite some design that's required, but they're very easy to install and high-performing applications that we can execute.
Now, innovation is very important to CIBSE members. It seems that it's moving very quickly at the moment. And how important are new products and techniques to your company?
Well, product innovation and even scientific innovation is core to the business that we've been doing for many, many years. Most of the products that we have that we talk about on a daily basis with engineers are technologies that have been invented by our organisation in its various forms over the years. So innovation's a comfortable clothing for our company, but that's just when we're talking about product. I think the most important aspect today is to talk about innovation in how we really implement the systems that we're talking about here, and that means that we need to be really on our game when it comes to product, but really more so now in how we help engineers and contractors to design and construct these applications.
Now, energy efficiency is on everyone's lips, and how do your products really help to reduce energy use and carbon emissions?
Two main areas that we serve from a heat tracing point of view is the frost protection and hot water temperature maintenance. In frost protection applications, the energy efficiency gain for us is partly a function of the way that the cable works, but more recently to do with the advanced control and monitoring solutions that we bring. These actually have greater benefits in warmer areas where you get less frequent freezing conditions. On the hot water temperature maintenance side, we can prevent a lot of the heat loss that was effectively a result of the old method of designing hot water systems with a recirculation system. In our case, we use a single pipe distribution for the hot water system, and we apply a trace heating cable to it, also with some control and monitoring applications.
How important is it for you to work with contractors and engineers involved in building and heating applications?
Well, it's a key concern or consideration for us. The products that we manufacture are normally allied to other services in the building. In frost protection, for example, we're with, let's say, chiller pipe work, and in hot water systems, we're also allied to the hot water distribution. So nothing that we do is standalone anyway. I think we're also quite interested in accelerating that when we look at the context of what's going on in the industry. A key message that we're hearing over the last few years, certainly even directly from CIBSE, is one of requirement for greater collaboration between designers and contractors and indeed product manufacturers. And so we see that as really a key part of achieving excellent systems in buildings.
Now, you've had a period of change recently and you've become Pentair after a merger. How do you see the company developing over the next few years?
Well, we would certainly want to continue that thread of innovation, certainly on the product side. But I think as time goes on, for us to really build on this collaborative effort that we want to see more and more of, we'll also be looking at other areas, in not just related to product, but also related to the services that we can provide. So that may well be on-site supervision, it could well be installation of product, working directly and much more closely with contractors on site to make sure that we get an excellent product installed.
Well, Robert Boland, thank you very much.
You're welcome.